and I am back. I am back in the town. Feeling good, feeling really fresh. The black things disappeared from under my eyes, which is awesome. I was extremely tired. I failed to remember how tired I actually was before you go on holiday. Not realizing how tired you are is a big problem. And I was really tired to the fact that I slept a lot. A hell of a lot. And it was great. And it was fantastic. I recorded loads of stuff for you guys. So you will be getting a quiz right now. This is to the live audience. Oh, look at you guys. See, I missed this so much. I was just saying to the guys before the show starts, I'd like to have a little bit of a chat. How weird it was on Friday to not have a daily. I think this is like the 30th or 20th daily, something like that. They're racking up really fast as we do 5 a week in general, unless I have something else that I need to do. And it felt very odd. I have this sort of inbuilt timer now, as I do every day, and it gets to around midday, 1 p.m, and my internal timer starts going, you need to sort the daily out and get the daily ready. You can't rush a daily and prepare it, because it needs to be sort of entertaining, it needs to have topics of discussion, all that kind of good shit. And at 1 o'clock on Friday, we were driving to the holiday destination. We left at about 20 past 12, and I was uncomfortable in the car. I was legitimately like, what's wrong with me? And I realised I should be preparing the daily. I should be getting ready for the daily show. But I couldn't. The big quiz to you before I do my announcements for today. Do you want, live audience, this is to you fucking heroes right there. You guys over there. Do you want the story of the holiday, as told by me in my story time fashion, and the adventures that took place? Or do you want a more gaming related daily? Either way, if we don't do a gaming one today, we'll do a gaming one tomorrow. If you don't fancy hearing about the holiday, then I will sum it up in some daily vlogs and stuff like that for you guys. But if you'd like to hear story time, say yes. No, let's do it like this. I'm not even looking at the screen. I don't know what you said yes. If you want to hear story time, say crabs. And if you want to hear gaming stuff, say Mario. That's what I want to see. I want to see crabs or Mario. That's what I want to see. Announcements. There will be a forum opening. I know I promised this last week. There will be a forum appearing on the Preach Gaming website, preachgaming.com. After the show. I'm going to prepare it after the show. I've done a little bit of work on it. And then I'm going to release it to the world. This Saturday at the web show will be the Academy Awards of Cataclysm. We're going to do a send-off to Cataclysm in the true fashion before Mr. Pandaria launches, where we will be giving out awards to various aspects of the game. I think this is pretty cool to celebrate. It's been a long-ass expansion. Really long-ass expansion. So we need to do a sort of awards ceremony for that. There will be some categories you guys can vote on. Okay, so there's going to be all sorts of stuff in there. Best dungeon, best raid, best class, best spec, all this kind of stuff. And of course, the fail awards. We will be doing the fail awards. Worst class, worst dungeon. We need to celebrate what sucked. We really need to do that. So hopefully in the future that won't matter. Hopefully somebody somewhere who of importance may watch it one day and go, okay, so generally people didn't like that. Oh, yeah, very good. Also, there will be a competition for you guys, which will be the Transmog competition. Transmog was brought in Cataclysm. Loads of you love it. Absolutely thousands upon thousands of people love Transmog, and you work really hard on your Transmog. This was suggested by Ghost, the talent at Preach Gaming. The talent himself said we should do a Transmog competition. The rules of the Transmog competition, as laid down by Ghost on his tablet of destiny. The rules are, it must be a screenshot of your character screen, taken with the in-game print screen screenshot taker. No Photoshop is allowed. Nothing else. I just want them emailing to preachgaming@gmail.com. You will be getting a prize for the winner, as decided by Ghost in general. He's generally much more involved in his Transmog, as he sends me various picture messages via his phone of his current Transmog and says, this shit is legit. So we guys want you to do that. After this show, I'm going to be browsing from your suggestions from last week's daily on Thursday of things that we are purchasing. I want to purchase a couple of things. You guys can help me do that. So if you want to watch me browse things like Amazon, I will help you. You guys give me suggestions. There's a lot of wise and knowledgeable people out there. I love that. So I'm going to check here. Crab or Mario? Crab or Mario? Crab, 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 crab. Mario clone. Mario crabs. Mario ball of crabs, 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 ducks. Mario has crabs, 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 crabs. Mario. Ooh, kind of 50-50. This could be a long show. Okay, let's do some gaming news first, then I'll jump into the story. Mario crabs. So Mario's got crabs. That's how our audience is on the case today. Mario crabs. Let's do some gaming news first. Firstly, PlanetSide 2. Something I've been really raving about is PlanetSide 2. It could be awesome. It could be spectacularly good. Generally, Total Biscuit of YouTube, I'm sure most of you have heard of him. He's the only guy who's covering PlanetSide 2 in depth. He has a deal with Sony. Lucky fuck. To do a lot. He's been doing stuff since the alpha and the beta and blah 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 blah, and covering events like at PAX Prime this weekend, where he got to do some sort of stuff there. They have released a pack which is sort of like a pre-order pack. PlanetSide 2 will be free to play. That's something worth knowing. Very similar to Tribes Ascend, PlanetSide 2 will be free to play. It's a good idea, really good idea. More of the games are moving away from buying them anyway. We discussed this in the past because of piracy and stuff. It's better to make microtransactions. Give the game away for free and then prompt people to buy it because you believe your game is good. That's cool and stuff. So now we've got a pre-order pack. And it looks like it's going to be cool. It's called the Alpha Squad. If you buy it, it's $40, I believe. $40. Let me just check my notes. Yeah, $40. It's going to run you $40 for the pre-order pack. You're going to get 12 weapons. You're going to get a title in game called Founder. It's a bit bullshit. All that kind of stuff's crap. And you get 6 months of bonus XP. I love that. 6 months of bonus XP. And plus you get instant access to the beta. This is fantastic stuff. So if you have a spare $40 flying around and you're likely to be playing a massively multiplayer FPS game for quite a while, it's well worth it. It looks like it's going to be well worth it. PlanetSide 2 is going to be spectacular. The only downside anybody is commenting about PlanetSide 2 is will enough people play it? The scope and size of the PlanetSide 2 world requires thousands of people to reach its true peak potential. As a free-to-play game and with as much hype as this game has, I think it will be there. We're going to be there. We've got some awesome ideas of stuff we can do in PlanetSide 2 with you guys. We can do some sort of baller drops. I kind of want to develop a move called the Baller Fist or the Bro Fist. Yeah, the Bro Fist is where something happens in game. I have a general idea of what that might look like. It will go alongside something like the Max Crash. If you don't know what the Max Crash is, there is a unit in PlanetSide 2 called the Max. And the Max Crash is crashing into a base with a ton of heavy wielding maxes. Max units are big wieldy mech type units. They're awesome. We want to set up a move called the Bro Fist, which generally comes up from the rear because that's how we roll in the low-tech society. Let's talk quickly about Blizz. Heart of the Swarm 2 is in beta. If you love StarCraft 2, I'm really excited about this because I don't know about you guys. As a spectator, I'm not an avid player of StarCraft 2. I play it on and off. I don't play it enough to be competitive. I played 5 online matches and was placed into Gold League. So it's easy for you to say I'm a Gold League player. Those 5 online matches. And I played about 3 or 4 after that. And that was it. I prefer to watch it. It's sort of like my football, or sport, if you will. However, I've noticed in the recent months there's just too much StarCraft 2. There's too fucking much. I don't know if you guys feel the same way. Let me know. It's everywhere, all the time. It's different leagues, it's different players. And it's just... It's annoying to follow now. I just kind of end up looking for one player, and which is really bad towards new and upcoming players, is I just look for players I like and I'll watch their games. I don't care which league or whatever the fuck is going on. I don't care. There's just StarCraft 2 games going on and on and on. The problem with StarCraft 2 in one respect is it's so easy to produce a lot of it. Tons and tons of StarCraft 2 action. Every game can be casted. So you see a lot of big YouTubers who cast as many games as humanly possible. That annoys me a lot. It's just spammed. It's just spammed. If you were a follower of Day 9, which I am, while Day 9 was at Gamescom, where we saw Day 9, he was uploading, 12 videos a day? I had to unsubscribe. It was just too fucking much, man. It was just too much. I want to watch good quality games, not just every game. That's how I like to roll anyway. So... there's tons of StarCraft 2, and I kind of lost interest. I haven't watched a lot for a while. I was unsubscribed to many of the StarCraft YouTubers. I was just like, whatever, dude. It's too much information. I don't care. Heart of the Swarm has sort of reinvigorated me a little bit. But when is it going to happen when we have the one international StarCraft 2 league? I would love that to happen. I would really just love one league with divisions, Division 1, Division 2, and it's just everyone's trying to get their piece. MLG are trying... NASL are trying, GSL, blah, 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 blah. All these fucking global StarCraft League, the National StarCraft League, the North American StarCraft League. Oh, there's just so much going on. Kind of frustrates me a little bit. I would like eventually to see... StarCraft 2 has the potential to be the game that is played in stadiums. It has that potential, it really does. And to bring esports into a legitimate light. It's getting there. Esports is legitimately getting there. League of Legends is obviously way ahead now of StarCraft 2, and I think that is because everybody's been spammed with StarCraft 2 endlessly. That's how my feeling on it anyway. As a spectator, there's just so much going on, I just lose interest. If it's on every single channel, I just don't care as much anymore. StarCraft 2 has the potential to really draw in stadium-sized crowds if it is an important game. But when there's so many different leagues, its priorities of importance and all that kind of stuff, it really waters it down, and it does it a disservice by thinning the quality out. Heart of Swarm looks awesome. It looks like a lot of fun. Poor old Protoss getting shit on. What are you going to do? What are you going to do? Make one, make one, make one, make one, make one! Okay, let's talk about some holiday stuff, and then we'll get back to gaming stuff. Oh, shall I do... let me do the gaming stuff first, because I'm kind of going to talk a lot about the holiday. So for you guys who are into your gaming stuff, I want to address... Ghostcrawler got Twitter while I was away. Ghostcrawler got Twitter, so he could just quickly reply to the immense amount of idiot comments that he gets on a daily basis. I have a really cool idea I want to run by Ghost of a short. I want to do a lot more comedic shorts. One of them is called The Blizzard Offices, and I had a really good idea of how to portray Ghostcrawler in this hilarious way. I think it would be really sort of fun and creative. So maybe you'll see that in the future, if I can figure out a way to film it and not look like shit. But Ghostcrawler has been sort of tweeting heavily. Is this a good idea? I don't know. Too much feedback from the developer can sometimes be a bad thing. Because the general population, as we've discussed, the general population of everything is bad when it's in huge numbers. There's a reason, as much as this will cause conspiracy theorists and people who believe in complete openness to go crazy, there is a reason the governments, etc., don't release all information to the general public. There's some things they choose to keep secret. Why? Because the general population is panicky and stupid. That is just the way of things, unfortunately. We, as much as we are like to be civilized, logical human beings and can maybe accept scary information with the sort of quiet reserve that needs to be done to think about it before we react openly, you only need to check something like the WoW forums to see that, in general, the people cannot do that. And there are far more stupid, panicky, disruptive people beyond the WoW forums. If we're talking about on a global scale, it's just not possible. There is a genuinely good reason why we're not privy to certain private information that maybe affects us all. In most cases, they resolve it before it becomes an issue. Therefore, we didn't need to know. We are blissfully unaware. And we're quite happy with that. Okay, let's talk about some of Ghostcrawler's tweets, because some of them are just plain crazy and some of them are quite interesting. His first ones were on PvE. This is on MMO Champions front page. I'm just going to give you my thoughts on it. One of them is, why did Mass Summon get removed? I totally disagree with the removal of Mass Summon, especially playing, as Just Waits in the chat, with some of the guys in Method. I was a Warlock in Method. Fuck summoning people. Fuck it in the ass. The amount of summons I had to do before a raid started drove me insane. To the point where you would summon someone, I don't know, like, let's say Notfer. Notfer was a classic, one of the mages from Method. Or even Apko, a good friend of mine. And you would mouse over him and he'd be walking the Stormwind canals merrily on his way, throwing pennies in the water, having a glorious day, and you would summon that motherfucker 7 or 8 times. Owled was a classic for this as well. Owled was a classic. You would summon them repeatedly, over and over again, 2 minutes before the raid, 1 minute before the raid, summoning them. They're in the raid, they accepted the invite. And then the stone would physically disappear. And then they would go, summon please. And I swear to God, you've never wanted to punch something so hard in your fucking life. Oh! Oh! Ugh. Summoning people sucks balls. It really does. Mass summon was kind of a helper for that. Every now and again, I never understood why use a mass summon before the raid start. People would be whispering me, summon please, 10 minutes before the raid. The raid's nowhere near full. I'm like, dude, I'm not summoning you yet. And they're like, summon please, you trial bitch! I'm like, no, I'm not summoning you. The stone's up. That's someone else. I always did the mass summon at raid start, because some people will never be there. Or as soon as the raid's full. If I see 25 people in the raid, I'm dropping my mass summon. Let's get everybody in. Everybody's here. Let's fucking go. If someone says on vent there's somebody going to be late, let's go with 24. Mass summon then. Mass summoning every time one person joins the raid makes me crazy. But it was a help to Warlocks, such as I was. It was a massive help. Removal of it is just a pain in the ass. They're saying Mists of Pandaria is quite compact. It is. But it's still, what's the fucking point? Really? What difficulty it was causing? There was a huge issue with Mass Summon when it was usable anywhere in a raid. People were skipping trash. All that kind of stuff was going on. Totally understandable why they made Mass Summon only available at the beginning of the instance. Makes perfect sense. No issue with that at all. If your guild's level 25, Mass Summon is a great little perk, and it's very difficult to abuse. A great thing about it is I could go... Let's say you've got a friend like Ghost. Ghost refuses to go anywhere, even when he asks you to do it. If you've got a friend like Ghost, Ghost sends you a whisper like, dude, do you want to do a Blackwing Lair transmog run? I say no. He says, let's go. I say no. He says, go, 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 go. And you say, okay, fine. I'll switch to a character that's good for soloing things because you're bound to go AFK and eat your tea. So I go on, say, my DK. I fly my ass from fucking Orgrimmar all the way to Blackwing Lair. And then you notice that Ghost... He's probably still in Orgrimmar, sorting his bags out or something like that. And you just do this week on week on week. Mass Summon is amazing for this. For those guys who just generally don't move their asses. I'm just going to give loads of ghosty slaps right here. Because I haven't seen him for so long. And every week you log in. And Mass Summon's great for that. Let's say you want to do a Tempest Keep run and one of you's in Netherstorm. Netherstorm is a massive pain in the ass to get to. Especially if you've got a friend like Genji. Genji takes forever to get anywhere because he can never remember how to get there. If you say you need to go to the Troll District and then you need to go through the Black Portal, the Dark Portal, and then move over to Netherstorm, Genji's like, what? The Troll District? What? It's like, dude, come on, man. And I can get there pretty fast. I like being efficient. I like going, if I'm going to log on a character to do something, I'm going to move my ass there. And Mass Summon made those things a hell of a lot easier. Oh, it was a godsend. I was like, yeah, I'm here, I can summon you. Fine. They say... One of the reasons is you won't be flying to the Caverns of Time for a raid, as in the case for Dragon Soul. We had Mass Summon for a hell of a long time before the fucking Dragon Soul came. A hell of a long time. Is the sun in my eyes again? Is it happening? It's happening again. Mother! Oh, that's a noise. Damn these blinds! Okay, we're back. Awesome. Yeah. We had this for so long before Dragon Soul. Why is that one of the points you're bringing up? Well, you don't need to go to Caverns of Time anymore. So fucking what? I totally disagree with it. I really, really do. I think that's terrible. Let's bring back. This one's interesting, though. This one is interesting, ballers. Ghostcrawler, please bring back attunements. Burning Crusade days was so good with the classic 3 dots. Yeah! Burning Crusade, bitches. Ghostcrawler responds, I think there can be a happy medium. Attunements can be cool accomplishments without sucking, especially for alts. What the fuck does that mean? Are there going to be attunements? Are we going to see some attunements, but once you get them, they spread to all your characters? I'm okay with that. I think there can be a happy medium. Attunements can be cool accomplishments without sucking, especially for alts. Are we going to see attunements back? That's fucking awesome. Attunements back? I'm completely okay with that. Give me something to do that isn't just, I have heroic gear, let's go to a raid. I have done my 5-mans, now let's raid. Imagine an attunement for looking for raid. Oh, the rage! Can you imagine? I have to be attuned for looking for raid? Even if that attunement was like, doing all the heroics once. You know what I mean? There's like 12 heroics, doing 12 dungeons before you go raiding. That some people would fucking raid. They would lose their shit. They would absolutely be on the forums like, this is an outrage! Even if it's spread to all your ults. So once you've done it once, you have to do 12 dungeons once on one character. Oh, the outrage. That would be fucking crazy. I would love to see that. But attunements coming back, pretty interesting. Challenge modes. This is the other thing that I found pretty interesting. I think it's worth commenting on. Whoever the internal testers are for Blizzard want shooting. They really do, because they're lying bastards. And whether or not it's because the developers are stood over your shoulder, like if Ghostcrawler stood over your shoulder, you can pretty much imagine most people are going, oh, you know what? This is great, GC. You're the man. Please don't fire me. I love my fucking job. You know? You can totally see that happening, am I right? If someone says to you, oh, come and work at the Blizzard offices and be an internal tester, you don't want to fuck that up. You don't want to fuck that up. You want that to be okay. You want to keep that job because that's a cool job. I work at Blizzard playing their games. How awesome is that before anyone else? They quoted some of their internal testers. Now, challenge modes, if you're not sure, is you gather a group of friends, 5 friends, you go to one of the dungeons, one of the 12 heroics, and you turn on challenge mode, and it becomes significantly more difficult, and you are timed on your completion of the dungeon. And you'll get transmog rewards, depending on whether you get a score, like bronze, silver, or gold. Pretty cool. We're going to... the question was, will challenge mode someday get nerfed because some players who aren't good will want them out in the transmog stuff. Will they get nerfed? Ghostcrawler says, we are going to fight that as hard as we can, which means yes. If he says we're going to fight it as hard as we can, that means yes, they're going to get nerfed eventually. Ghostcrawler says he loves challenge modes. Here are some of the quotes as far as I remember. So these can be taken out of contextual content from our internal testers. Quote number 1. Challenge modes are the most stressful thing I have ever done in WoW, and I love it. What? Are you fucking kidding me? The most stressful thing you've ever done is a hard 5-man fast. Brad from accounting. Brad from accounting. I don't think so. Challenge modes make me use every one of my class abilities. No other part of the game does that. Really? You know why? Because you're just lazy as fuck. Every one of my class abilities. What the fuck? Brad, you're letting us down, man. Challenge modes. This is the best one. Challenge modes are like Phase 4 Ragnaros. ... That lasts for 20 or 30 minutes. Now, is that Ragnaros Heroic or Ragnaros Normal? Because Ragnaros Normal Phase 4 is not stressful at all. This just isn't. If it's Ragnaros Heroic, no. Wrong. Wrong. Fucking wrong. There is no way in hell the 5-man Heroic is going to be as difficult or as stressful as Ragnaros Phase 4 Heroic for 20 or 30 minutes. No. No, no, no. No, no, fucking no. No. This is quality. There's that moment after you beat Ook Ook, which instantly like negates this whole comment, because there's this moment. Like I kind of want to put it to some sort of contextual context of like a story being told. There's this moment, right? It's like this guy's telling you his war story. You know, he's been in Vietnam and now he's like 90 years old and shit. And he's like, there's this moment after you beat Ook Ook in Da Nang where your chest tightens a minute because you know what's coming next. That damn rabbit. What the fuck is that? Jesus Christ. Are you fucking kidding me? There was this moment after we killed Ook Ook where my chest just felt so tight because the rabbit was coming. Okay. Okay. Challenge modes make me wish I could cast spells while casting other spells. Even if the global cooldown doesn't come soon enough. Yeah? Bullshit. I'm serious, these are the worst fucking replies. Ghostcrawler, man, don't post shit like that, because who does that appeal to? Who does that appeal to? When are people going to defeat Ook Ook now and be like, the rabbit's coming. Guys, the rabbit is coming. Be ready. The fucking rabbit's coming. Hot Talius is in this bitch. Let's get fucking ready. The other stuff I wanted to talk about very briefly was their sort of his lack of care. Can Destrolock still have the fire animation back with 1 ember? The reply, but you always have 1 ember, so you just be on fire. So what? I want to be on fire all the time. That's fucking cool, man. It's like, oh, but it doesn't signify anything because you always have 1 ember. Yeah, it signifies I'm a fucking burning Destrolock. That's awesome. That's really cool. Shamans feel very gutted to me by the removal of traditional totems. Numbers are okay. It just feels like a lot of junky cooldowns now. He was really off the cuff about this and I didn't really like it. Junky cooldowns own junky buffs was his response. It's better to have junky cooldowns than having just junky buffs. That's not the point. I really think he skipped over a major flaw that I feel in Shamans now is they have a ton of just little fidgety cooldowns, which are just annoying as fuck because they're all over the place. I've always felt Shamans have suffered a little bit from having so many little things they can do in certain situations. Although it makes them extremely useful and very good utility, it's kind of awkward when you compare it to other classes that you've got all these little fidgety stuff. But it was always offset by the fact that you could generally just drop good stuff and have it going on, and you had to manage your totems. You could tell a good shaman from a bad one by were they managing totems through dungeons and stuff like that. Now we just have the cooldowns, which I always felt was kind of frustrating, and I think other shamans have started to feel like that. We had the good cooldowns, but we were very choosy about using them. Now we just have the cooldowns on top of our totems. I think shamans do have too many junky cooldowns. I really do. I think they need sort of dwarfing down a little bit. I think they could do with some really good, interesting totems. There are some good new totems, but the old ones, like Grounding Totem, is cool. Grounding Totem is a great totem. That's okay. But then you've got the other totems. Tremor totem is cool totem. These are all good totems, but there's a lot of them. Can we not sort of dwarf? Do we need all of them? Do we need Earthbind as well as Frostshock? Do we need that? Not really. We don't need an AoE snare as well as... Warriors last forever without having Piercing Howl and Hamstring. Sure, it's nice in PvP for sure, but you know, there's a choice there between using Global and Frostshock maybe and snaring one person rather than just trying to kite a ton of mobs around. I don't know. I feel like Shamans are in a weird place right now where they've just got a ton of little shitty things without some fun stuff to go along with it. There's nothing wrong with having little shitty spells as long as you've got good fun spells that you're casting on a regular basis, which aren't just you straight up doing DPS spells. I always think a little bit like. He hates the new totems, little things there. Ghostcrawler, I love my Ellie Shaman. Bring back the totem bar. Stunlock Madness. Okay. What was the last one I wanted to say? Yeah, there's a big outcry at the moment for prop paladins having low damage. They do. I'm shooting a video at the moment. I shot a little bit of it today when I got back from my holiday, which is the final sort of end to tank week before we get into Mr. Pandaria, which is how different classes deal with different kinds of pulls. It's going to be a super basic guide, okay? It's very, very basic. If you're an advanced tank, you won't have much issue with this. You'll be able to see how I do it from the Death Ball video we did last week. It's just a nice top off because people obviously watch. How many people believed I did a guide to Well of Eternity? Are you fucking kidding me? Who replied with that comment? Who saw that and went, a guide to Well of Eternity just before Mr. Pandaria comes out? This is crazy. You're right. That would be fucking crazy. Are you mental? Oh my god. When I read that reply, I was like, you cannot be fucking serious watching this video and thinking he's done a guide to Well of Eternity. Ah! Even in a video where I click random heroic, they believed I did. Oh. Fuck YouTube sometimes. Seriously, fuck YouTube. But yeah, Prop Bally's very much weaker in damage than definitely some of my other tanks. And I rolled on... I did all 4 tanks today. And I was doing excessive amounts of damage in some dungeons. And on my Prop Pally I felt a little bit weaker. There's a little bit of an outcry about it because it is slightly weaker. Somebody was saying they're fine, but it is a little bit weaker. But the removal of Righteous Defense. Do we like that? I don't. Righteous Defense had some fantastic uses. If people knew how to use Righteous Defense properly, it was a fantastic little spell. Probably a little bit too niche, in fact. So a lot of people were like, oh, it's kind of a taunt. If anybody remembers the original Righteous Defense, where you have to target the player, that was a pain in the ass. You have to have a huge macro and stuff. But those players learned how good Righteous Defense was, especially before we had AoE taunts, which we don't really have anymore. Righteous Defense was cool. I kind of miss that AoE function of a taunt sometimes. We do need it on occasion. I do miss that. Yeah, Righteous Defense was cool. I'm not sure I agree with the removal of that, but that's okay. Right, I will deal with one question, and then I'm going to tell you the story of the holiday. I've got a really good question, which is actually sort of touches on what we spoke about today. A lot of people playing do feel weaker. No, the play is fine. Don't get me wrong here on the Prop Pally stuff. The play is fine. The style of play works. It works really well. I have no issue with the play style. I do have issue with just overall damage, especially when my warrior is... If I try hard, I know I did the revenge video with 60k DPS. That's low compared to what I can do when I really want to do DPS. If I want to do DPS, I could do tremendous amounts of DPS with my prot warrior at the moment. Easy into the 70, 80ks, some 100ks on some pulls, which is just retarded. I could show you some clips of that, but I don't think that's really relevant to this. Okay. Where was the email? Brumph. Okay, this chappy here sent me an email because he was rogue. He's been a rogue since vanilla. Wealth of experience, right? One of the biggest things people ask me about when trying to join a guild is I don't have the experience. I'm new to the game. I joined in Wrath. I joined in Cataclysm. I joined at some other point in the game, and I don't have all that experience that people seem to be looking for in the big guilds. Cool. Totally understandable, and it's not an issue that's easily solved. We dealt with ways of getting around it, but there's obviously no way of solving experience. You either have it or you don't. Now we've got a chap here who's been playing a rogue since vanilla, has wealth of experience, years of experience. It took a few months off, not years, a few months away because of personal issues outside of the game, which happens. He's come back and he's simply unable to get into a raiding guild anymore, as his last one who knew him is now disbanded. So he had a guild, a load of friends, all that kind of stuff, and it's now disbanded, it's gone. At the moment, all the guilds I seem to apply for don't require a rogue. at all in their roster, and I've applied easily for 15 plus guilds. I find the idea of re-rolling to a different class somewhat off-putting, as you should. But being a rogue since the beginning, and I'm so comfortable with them, there is nothing more I enjoy raiding on. Do you have any suggestions on what I should do? This is tricky, and this is because of the homogenization of classes. What we tend to find now is classes are not as niche as we once thought. People needed rogues. We wanted a fine balance of classes in the raid. Now things have become sort of mushed together in a big slime pool. It's not that much of a bad thing to bring two enhancement shamans instead of a rogue and an enhancement shaman. It's not that much of a bad thing. Then some boss comes along. Some twatty, stupidly designed boss that really favours one specific spec of one specific class. Hello, Spine of Deathwing Heroic. Suddenly that class is in retarded demand. Crazy, crazy demand. Like Arcane Mages and Subtlety Rogues. Suddenly they're just, we need rogues. But every time this boss isn't forefront and forthcoming, everybody's sort of a blur together. And being a class is the wrong way to think about your guild application. In essence, what I think most guilds are moving towards now is we need more ranged or we need more melee. And that is about it. We need either tanks, healers, ranged or melee. You don't say things like we need more rogues unless you have an abundance of them. If you've got 4 rogues, excuse me, you obviously do not want more rogues because loot distribution gets all kinds of fucked up and stupid. But people tend not to even get to 4 rogues. You've probably got 2, 3 rogues. You've probably got 2, 3 warriors, maybe rep pallies. And it doesn't matter. It's fine. All the gear's sort of evenly distributed. Most top guilds don't give a shit, really, about gearing up because they'll just power people through individual dungeons and stuff like that. It's not a great big deal. There'll be certain people you bring on progress, and there'll be certain people who bring after that progress is done so they can equally as be geared up, unless some stupid boss comes along where we require excess amount of people. So what is the solution here? Re-rolling is not the solution. It's your instant reaction. This guild does not require rogues. I should re-roll. No, because the homogenization of the classes, them all being mushed together to be pretty similar and to do similar amounts of damage, means that re-rolling isn't the answer. You're actually just looking for a guild that requires melee. That's what you're after. Instead of looking for a rogue spot. I think it's going to get to the stage soon where guilds stop having their recruitment thing say, we want mages, warlocks, blah blah blah, all broken down to individual classes, and just have, we need casters, we need melee. We don't need different types of classes. We just don't anymore. It's gradually moving away from there. It's not quite there yet. It's not quite there yet, but it's getting there. Melee was one of the first hit by this, I think. I think melee has been the first hit by this because I didn't, when I was doing my raid invites before moving off to other guilds, I didn't care if we had 3 rogues and 1 warrior or 2 rogues and 2 warriors. It didn't matter to me. In general, when I ran the melee team, I just said, who needs loot off this boss? And if 3 rogues or 4 rogues needed loot off this boss, and it wasn't just the same item, I would bring 4 rogues and drop the warriors if they didn't need anything. It didn't make a fucking difference at all. So we need to start moving out this mindset of, I'm a rogue, I need to find a guild with a rogue spot. Sometimes that is the case. That's okay. If they have no rogues, they want a rogue. But that's going to be rare. It's going to be rare to find a rogue. The other thing is with rogues, is they never leave guilds. It's so hard to find a lot of fast-moving rogues. It didn't used to be the day. In vanilla, when everybody was a fucking rogue, and rogues were one-shotting and killing people in stunlock, and it was the best thing ever, everybody was jumping guilds left and right. Now what we have is these old-school, like, veteran rogues who never leave guilds, because being a rogue and being one that's prioritized for loot is the greatest thing ever. Most rogues I meet are massive gear whores. Huge gear whores. Rogues love gear. The veteran rogues are the biggest gear whores I've met in a very, very long time. Meeting a selfless rogue who's a veteran rogue is a really hard thing. To give you an example, in Darkstorm, when I was the melee officer, there were 2 rogues. One of them, Darksend, had been playing since probably early Wrath of the Lich King all the way till now in that guild, and had become a very respected member of the guild. A solid rogue, attended every raid, and fabulous DPS. Another rogue, Zuni, had been in the guild since vanilla, and they played together a long way. Zuni used to be a priest, changed to a rogue round about TBC, I want to say, and took a moderate small break in Wrath of the Lich King and came back. Now these 2 rogues attended every single fucking raid, spoke together, were friends together, and were the best of friends in terms of being rogues. They were really good. I'm not saying they went out and pally-pallied and sucked each other's knobs off, you know, after the raid, but they were close and close and close. And veterans, to say the least. The legendary daggers. One of the things as the melee officer I had to deal with was who was going to get the legendary daggers. From an outside perspective of somebody who joined that guild in Cataclysm. I joined the guild in Cataclysm. I had this one rogue, Darksend, who'd been playing for years in the guild and attended pretty much every single raid, including alt raids, was a stalwart member of the guild. I had Zuni, who'd been in the guild since vanilla. Who has equal rights there to this legendary weapon? Who? I want to hear from the chat. Who gets the legendary weapon? Not an easy choice. I guarantee it. I guarantee most people will just get a 50-50 split on who should get this legendary weapon. Do I give it to the guy who's had 100% attendance for 2 expansions? Or do I give it to a guy who's been in the guild since vanilla, took a small break in Wrath of the Lich King, came back, and has 100% attendance since then? Roll, 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 roll. Ask them to decide. Darksend. Rochambeau. Do a /roll. Okay, so you guys were of the same mentality as me. Personally, I didn't give a fuck, but I have this really awkward perspective as I don't really care about gear. I care very little about items and the quest for items. That's not why I play the game. It never has been the quest for items or the quest for a specific item. Is it happening again? My fucking Christ. Ugh. I cannot fix this. I know some of you are saying you should just fix this. It is really not as easy as you would like to think to fix this fucking light. It's unbelievable. That's better. So I took them both out of the raid and into a party. So there's me and the 2 rogues in a party. These guys are good friends. And I say, look, both of you have got really valid reasons as to why you should get the legendary daggers. You really do. You both have a legitimate stake on it. You've both been in the guild forever. Your attendance is fantastic. Roll for it. Oh no, I didn't say that. I said, decide amongst yourselves, who do you think should get it? Silence. Utter silence. And this is where the nature of veteran rogues comes through. No answer. And they were like, shouldn't you decide? And I'm like, well, I can decide for you if you wish, but it makes sense that you guys just agree to it, because then you're both friends, right? It makes sense if you both go, well, you know what, or maybe we should roll for it, whatever. They didn't answer. They wanted me to decide. So I said, okay, look, the only way to do this is for you to roll, because I don't care which of you gets it. I just want you to be happy. And in the back of my mind, I'm thinking, rogues, veteran rogues, are really into their gear. Somebody's going to get pissed here. If they can't agree between themselves, somebody's going to get really angry. So I said, roll for it. So Zuni, straight off the bat, rolls. Darksend doesn't. Darksend says, I'm pretty sure I should be getting it. And then it starts, right? These 2 are friends. And then he's like, I think I should be getting it. I'm like, well, why? He says, well, I've been 100% attendance since Wrath of the Lich King. And then Zuni, instantly, as if he'd already pre-fucking typed it, says, I've been in the guild since vanilla. And then it almost turns into an anger. It's like, guys, look, you both, as far as I can see, from an outside perspective, you both have a legitimate claim on it. If you don't want to decide, I don't care. You're both, whoever gets it first, the other one's going to get it second. And then, of course, they've both researched it. Rogues don't research anything. And most rogues will tell you nothing about a boss fight. They will not know what spells are being cast. They won't know what the boss fucking does. They don't give a shit. They just want to DPS things. Most rogues, I'm generalizing here, but most veteran rogues will know nothing about a boss whatsoever. They won't give a shit. They could do that boss 100 times. They will still have no idea what the fuck is going on other than something that directly affects them. Like a meteor in Ragnar's Phase 4, they will know about it. But they will expect someone else to deal with it. They will expect that because they're a pure DPS class. And rogues, veteran rogues, love to stab things in the ass. A lot. They fucking love it. So, many a times I saw one of the rogues die on Ragnar's Phase 4 because a meteor was coming at them, and then they go, yeah, but somebody else is supposed to deal with that. They don't care. They're aware. They will watch this meteor fucking Indiana Jones towards them and be like, somebody else should be dealing with this. Guys, boom! And then die and kill people. Happens all the time. So I made them roll for it, ultimately, because I thought, I'm not making a decision here, because, frankly, it's idiotic, and they rolled, and Darksend won, which was kind of a relief, because he was the one who was being a little bit pissy about it, and Zuni was like, fine, awesome. Whether or not it had something to do with it, Zuni quit shortly after, like, just midway through Dragon Soul, I think, Zuni quit the game. Does that have something to do with it? I don't know. But rogues hang around in guilds for so fucking long. Trying to join their team is so difficult. It really is. Joining a rogue team, that's not easy. That's not easy at all. The rogues just disappeared from the face of the earth. They were gone. And Zuni, I think, plays Star Wars or Guild Wars 2 now or something. I don't know. But they were great friends. I still speak to them on occasion. I don't really speak to them much anymore. But when I do, I always enjoy talking to them. But that's what you've got to worry about when you're a rogue. Rogues are now so stalwart. Rogues get treated very well by Blizzard. They've had more legendaries than any other class. And they know that. And they always want to be in the position where they will get the legendaries. When you change guild, your chance of getting a legendary is severely diminished, obviously. The veteran guys, especially the rogues, who generally get treated well by Blizzard and generally get cool stuff. Cursed Vision of Sargeras. The wars we saw when a feral druid who had been in the guild longer wanted a Cursed Vision of Sargeras from Illidan over a rogue was unbelievable. There was a war there because rogues love their trinkets and their toys. I've generally experienced, maybe you guys have a different experience, but I think rogues, the most gear-horny classes and players I've ever met in my life, gravitate towards rogues because they tend to get really cool stuff. I think that's awesome. Right, that's enough for gaming stuff. I've already been talking for 40 minutes. 40-minute conversation. Awesome. Okay. I'm going to do something I've never done on a daily. I'm going to do it in 2 parts. I'm going to play the outro now, because that's the end of the gaming stuff. And then I'm going to take a 2-minute break, and then I'm going to come and talk to you about my holiday. Why not? Because I've been away for so long, 3 days, that I might as well talk about this stuff, okay? So I will be right back. So don't go anywhere if you want to hear about the holiday, but if that's your gaming fill, done, have fun.